Hello, this is Dave for That's Us Gaming, and welcome to Dave's Ramblings, where I basically talk your ear off about things I find interesting. Before I go any further, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We are putting out new content every week, or at least trying to every week. And it would mean a lot to us if we get a fair few subscribers. And now, to the main event. Now that FIFA is out, we can finally say it's all together now. Holiday gaming season. You know, the one where week after week we get fed a number of games aimed squarely at those Christmas present parents. Big AAA titles like Assassin's Creed, FIFA, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and some cowboy version of Grand Theft Auto that I seem to be the only one of literally the entire world that hates it. I used to love this time of year. I honestly did. Literally, it was like, gee willikers, mister, your game's coming out soon, I can't wait to play it. Now it's more like how I imagine being married for 30 years feels like, where nothing's changed on their end, but I just look on disinterested and grunt occasionally every now and then when they talk. I feel like I'm stuck in perpetual Groundhog Day. It's the same franchises coming out year on year, and they get absolutely lapped up by filthy consumers like Mr. Whiskers with his milk. And we need to stop buying this shit. Take a stand. Let developers know we don't want their lazy reskinned games. Unless you do, but even then, stop ruining it for the rest of us. With Assassin's Creed Odyssey basically having pretty piss poor reviews, all revolving around the same thing, the fact that microtransactions are currently ruining the game and they are injecting grind effectively into the game. Why are we still doing this to ourselves? A good example of it is, for example, now Luke from That's Us Gaming. He's the guy who does the Diary of an Indecisive Gamer. He turned around and said he was actually excited about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And he said, yeah, it looks good. But no, how do they still manage to do this? You know it's going to be shit. You know exactly what it's, especially with Ubisoft, you know exactly what it's going to be before they even fucking release it. But how do you keep falling into traps like this? I mean, don't get me wrong, I trust, hopefully the man won't buy it. But seriously, how can people keep falling into these traps? Call of Duty. Every year, Call of Duty is the same thing over and over and over. And this year, there's not even a real point in getting it for me because I hate the multiplayer. The single player is what I live for. But this time they decided to literally fucking hack the single player off like it was some sort of debilitating, festering wound or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, you cannot charge fucking, well, let's just say it now. What is it? It's 50 quid for the basic edition. But then you got your season pass. Don't forget the season pass. Don't forget any sort of microtransactions, even if they're just cosmetic. All of this, you're paying upwards of that. And they've decided to fucking scale back content. Jesus Christ. By the way, if you wonder what that banging was, that was actually me. Subconsciously just smacking my dresser because I was so angry about it. But anyway, yeah, seriously, I mean, you think about it. These game companies, they can do this because you are buying them. You know, if you stop buying the games, they won't have money to make. They may even, gasp, shock, horror, innovate. I think now this is why indie games have had such a massive year. Not all of them great, just ask Steam. I mind you saying that, just ask the fucking Switch. They've had a glut of shit coming on. But anyway, indie games now have had a big rise. You've had a lot of, as I've mentioned before, Japanese games, which they have a different approach to gaming. You know, they don't have the big Hollywood blockbuster levels that a lot of the AAA industry have. So they work with what they've got. Don't get me wrong, they're not fucking pressing diamonds all the time, but you know, every now and then they will absolutely, they will fucking nail it. You know what I mean? And at least you can see that it's coming from a place of enjoyment, not from a fucking video game sweatshop where these people don't know where their next fucking pay is coming from. Just ask Telltale Games. But yeah, if you stop buying this, you know, if little Timmy says, oh, but I really want FIFA, just turn around and go, nah. I know it's harsh, but, you know, just, nah. That's all you got to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I absolutely hate the fact that you just see kids now. I mean, we're talking, I mean, okay, forget FIFA. I mean, it's football. It's ingrained into society. But take Call of Duty. If little Timmy, who's like, you know, 4 years old, 5 years old, wants the new Call of Duty, it's like, really? You want that 18-year-old Call of Duty, Timmy? Not happening, mate. You know, just teach people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, obviously, there's nothing really in those games that I would say, oh yeah, this is awful, I would never let my kid play it. It's not exactly a horror movie, but then I would always go through a game first. You know, I mean, God of War, for example. Now I'm on about the PS2 ones now. At first I thought, oh, this seems a little weird to have such a high rating. Okay, there's a high level of gore, and then all of a sudden you get to the sex mini games and you're like, and there it is. Imagine if I hadn't have played that game first and thought, oh, that doesn't look too bad. And then one of the children comes across the sex mini games. But yeah, you just teach them the importance of, you know, parental things. Just say no. And also just say, well, I would love to buy it for you, but unfortunately they haven't released a full game. I tell you what, I'll get you the Game of the Year edition once they've released all the fucking DLC and all that. So yeah, I know I sound a bit ranty today, but that's because literally I am, because I've seen the glut of shit that is just spewed forth from the toilet that is the games industry at the moment. And I may sound a bit snarky, and I am. I really am. I'm really, this is something I am absolutely fucking passionate about. I do not like the way that the game industry is going. It's awful. I mean, I will just go back now to retro games. But even then, game companies now, look at Nintendo chucking out fucking NES games for like $3.50 a pop. You know, that literally doesn't cost them shit. I mean, Christ, Capcom now have just released the brawling, the beat 'em up bundle thing, and apparently that works absolutely shit. The Sega Mega Drive collection. You try playing that online multiplayer, which was, to me, I thought that was fantastic, the fact that you'd have online multiplayer. Again, just apparently shit. So let that be a lesson. People want your fucking money, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.